Hello everyone, and welcome to today's art block video. I know I've made a couple of other videos about art block, but it's just that road that I'm on right now as a creative. And because I've been struggling with art block, I surprisingly, after I don't know what felt like forever, I got a spark of inspiration to do something. And it's all because I had been watching a lot of videos and just trying to figure out different ways to overcome art block that led me to create something for myself to help me not only as I'm struggling right now, but for in the future, for something that I could go back to and use again multiple times. And because I have the knowledge and capabilities, thanks to Blue Serenity, to put together a deck of cards and have the ability to do a prototype, I decided to make something called the Art Blox Box. So I had a spark of inspiration. Even though I couldn't get myself to sit down in my art studio and paint and do things like that, I did think of a list of things that I could do to help me overcome it. And then by having these ideas and activities, things start to form in my mind, and that aspect started to actually clear up. And I created something for myself, and I designed it in a way that if I decide to, if others are interested in it, I might take this to Kickstarter. And see if, other creatives would be interested in having a box like this, where there's 82 cards with images and prompts and color palettes and things that you can use to help you create artwork during a day when maybe you don't have an idea, or you are struggling like I am right now to create art and having ideas for putting art together. So this is a prototype of that idea. I put it all together digitally, and then I decided to actually make it into something. So I haven't opened this box yet. It just arrived in the mail. I mean, my dog went berserk when the doorbell rang, and I went and got it. And you might even hear the washing machine in the background because my studio's right next to the laundry room. So this isn't a well thought out video. I might even be rambling right now, or I might ramble later on. But yeah, so basically that was my idea. Once that spark of inspiration for something started to build and that pathway opened up, I created this as a physical item. I even went as far as to try to do a little blurb and things that I would put in this box if I were to actually do something about it, and take it to Kickstarter and make one for others. So I'm just gonna open it, or not. I need to, I was kind of hoping that my nail on the seam would rip it open, but it's not. Uh-oh. What if I? Nope, that didn't work. I have to go find something. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, I can't wait to get started and start working with these. It's so exciting. Okay, so what I did was I sourced photos from royalty-free websites like Unsplash and places that I go to look for images to pull inspiration from, to create based off of, and things like that, as well as photos that I have taken especially this summer when I was really inspired by the trees blooming and everything this spring. So I have a combination of that in here. Just gonna take this band off. So I made the cards fairly large, so then that way the reference image is big, but also right down here is large as well, so the color palette. So when I'm using art supplies and anything like that, I can compare the colors that I have to it. So for example, if I'm going to use my colored pencils, I can take it and be like, okay, out of this palette, the colors that I have readily available, this matches, this glows close to it, so I'm gonna use this color. And because I'm a mixed media artist, I like to use other things as well. So I'll be like, this isn't identical, but it's close to it. Or if I'm painting with my acrylics, I can then mix these colors out of the colors that I have as well. Okay. I love these. These are perfect for what I need right now. And I wasn't sure when I was creating it if I would want it to be the full image or with a edge around it. What do you guys think? Edge to edge or framed? Honestly, I like them both. Anyways, the purpose of the design that I created with having a basic back where it's just a pattern on the background is so then that way if I have a day where I'm really struggling, instead of going through here and selecting something, I can leave it up to chance. I can shuffle the cards. I can spread them out, make a mess, not know which one I'm gonna pull, and then pick one. And then work based off of this. I also think it'd be really fun to pull, say, more than one card and pick and choose. So say, for example, I really like this prompt, but I'm loving this palette. I'll create based off of those two things. Or maybe I love this image, but I love this color palette. So I could recreate this photo with this color palette, you know, those kinds of things. So I think, yeah, okay. I'm actually feeling really excited about this.
Hello everyone, Future Leah here. It's been about a week since I opened my Art Blox box, and I've been using these cards every day, and I am in love with them. I've previously shared how I started my journey towards healing, of overcoming my art block, which all started with taking a step back, allowing myself not to feel the need to create and putting things back into place, cleaning my studio, focusing on colors and the things that bring me peace and calm, recreating my inspiration board to reflect the artist that I currently am versus the one that I had been the last time I had put that board together. It allowed me to breathe. It also allowed myself to just live with my art block. When a part of your social existence is sharing art and creating for not only yourself but others for work, that adds extra pressure. Pressure I felt the need to push through. I felt the need that my art block was this thing that it was bad and I needed to just force it away. Originally, I was going to be creating several posts, a lot of videos documenting each step I took, but I don't want to. Before I get into sharing the completion of this journey and the steps I took to get to this point, I want to first just go over what this painting is, the cards that I pulled, and everything like that. So for creating this painting, I pulled 2 different prompt cards from my Art Blox Box deck. I love how it's a tongue twister. The ones that I picked, the first one was create the perfect summer drink, which I used the photo reference as for my visual recreation. And the other card was to create using just the primary colors. For a card like this, you can honestly, interpret it any way you want, which means you can only use your primary colors for mixing all the colors you're going to use. Or, as I interpret it as, is using just primary colors and small variations of them. So I did very minimal mixing. The background color is a slight purple, and that's pretty much the extent of my color mixing that I did. That's just one of the aspects that I really love about the cards that I created, is that depending on my mood, I can interpret the cards any way that I want. And it's really freeing, and also it helps. It really does help. Now let's get on to the topic at hand, how I overcame my art block. Now, I first realized I had art block when the joy in creating had soured. Art is healing. It's something I truly believe, but I wasn't feeling healed afterwards. I was creating and feeling blah, frustrated, and I was doubting my skills, my art, and myself. Nothing felt right. Originally, I thought I was just going through a stage where anxiety was negatively impacting my creative process due to comparison and stress and worrying over Blue Serenity, my affirmation deck card, because I'm impatiently waiting for it to arrive. They're going to be here soon, but it's one of those things where, I've put so much love and energy into Blue Serenity, and there's still that voice in the back of my head that's making me nervous about their arrival. But that's just, something that as a creator, especially one that's sharing art, you need to work through. But I thought that was the negativity and anxiety that was affecting my creative process, my ability to use art for healing. When it came to the aspect of me feeling like I was comparing myself to other creatives and artists out there doing things that I was doing but not doing, and all that negativity, I thought instead of focusing on the negative aspect of it, I would actually try to learn from these artists instead of compare myself to them. That was one of my steps that I took to help with this emotion that I was feeling, which led me to actually feeling a little blah. So instead of feeling good about learning something new and examining how they did something so I could potentially incorporate it into my own process for creating and my own style, it didn't make me feel any better. This led me to feeling blah at the end of every painting again. I felt like I was working too hard, forcing my art to look good. The joy wasn't there when I was creating. And when I say blah, I mean like a combination of several emotions where it's just all there piled on top of one another. That's how I feel. It's how I'm expressing it through words. You might feel a little differently, but for me, the best way to put words to feelings for that frustration, that uncomfortableness, that inability to process, to get myself to work and create is blah. Now, once I realized it was art block, I was actually starting to try to learn how to overcome it. So I was actively watching videos on YouTube and taking classes on Skillshare that was full of activities and things that I could do to overcome art block. But what really got me to feel like I was starting to get a little bit lighter and less pressure was cleaning my studio. That was the first step that actually made me feel like I could breathe a little again. That I could actually go into my studio and create maybe. It was doing that and being able to feel a little bit lighter after I had done it, which led to a spark of an idea. And that spark gave birth to the Art Blox Box. And once that energy started to flow through me, it was like magic had sparked again. And as it happened, ideas were popping here and there, and I sat down at my computer and I created the art block within the matter of days. Like I got into it. I created the prototype, the box, everything. I did it all within about a week's time. And I looked at what I had created and I thought, this is perfect for me. This is exactly what I need. I could have left it on my computer and just gone to it every time I wanted to create, but the feeling of a tactile thing in my hand to help me create and work through it versus shuffling on a screen, I needed that. So I sent it off to a printer that I've used in the past for Blue Serenity prototypes, and I waited for its arrival. And during that time in which I waited for it to arrive, I again allowed myself not to feel the pressure to create. I didn't force myself to do anything. I allowed myself to just enjoy my time, relaxing. And when the prototype arrived, I actually started to use them right away, and it felt like this heavy cloak slid off of me all of a sudden. I was able to stretch again, feel excited about creating. I was challenged in a way that didn't bring on comparison and doubt. Everyone's journey through art block is going to be different. The things that trigger it for them, the things that help them overcome it may vary. And that's okay, 100%. We all have our own process, our own journeys. But I also want this to just be a source for all of you, if you are experiencing it right now, to know that there is no wrong way to overcome your art block. There's no wrong way to heal through it. And the actions that you take, though at some point might not feel right, like when I tried to do the learning from other artists aspect and watching a bunch of videos, at the time it didn't really feel right, but it did lead to things, It led to me cleaning out my studio. It led to me feeling calmer, allowing myself to sit with these emotions. It allowed me to eventually have the idea for the art block, for this box of cards. It allowed me to go through this journey. So if you feel comfortable with it and sharing your own journey, if you've experienced it or if you are in the midst of art block, please do so in the comments section below. Let's help one another out with this, because art block can feel like you're all alone sometimes, like you see other artists, especially on social media, just posting daily about all these things that they're creating. And then you do start comparing yourself, like, why aren't I posting daily? Those kinds of things. So let's share, let's talk, and let's help one another out. At the time of recording this, I do want to let you guys know that I am thinking of taking the Art Blox Box to Kickstarter. What do you guys think? Because these cards can not only help you through art block and fighting off that dreaded blank canvas fear, but it can really help during healing with art time as well, because it can give you topics and images that you can use during that time. I would love to hear your thoughts. Now we've reached the end of the video, and I really do hope this, let's word that again. I really do hope that this video has helped you in some way. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you are interested in art and healing with art, hit that subscribe button, because that's what I'm all about here. I talk about art products and different art projects and things that you can do during your healing with art time. Before I sign off, let's take a deep breath in and release any negativity we may be holding on to. All right, everyone. Until next time, stay magical.